So in the last class, we just discussed about the Schrodinger time-dependent equation. In this class, we discuss the Schrodinger time-independent equation. Before starting the class, you need to understand that what is the importance of the Schrodinger equation. So we had the information, right? Whenever we are discussing the Schrodinger equation, the Schrodinger equations are used to know the energy of the system or a particle. So in the last class, we just started our concept of Schrodinger time-independent equation. So again, we will just repeat that, right? Let us consider the particle. Consider the particle. Yes, we are considering the particle which is having mass small m, right, with velocity v, and psi be the wave function, psi be the wave function along x comma y comma z directions. Right. So we just started with this. Let us consider the Schrodinger equation and time-independent equation. We are deriving the equation. So we know that the Schrodinger time-independent equation is used to know the energy of the given system or the particle. For that, let us consider the particle of having mass m with the velocity v and psi be the wave function along x comma y comma z directions. Right. So here we just start our today's derivation with this right consideration. So now the classical the classical the classical the classical differential equation, the classical differential equation is given as, so you had the information, right? The classical differential equation of the progressive wave is given by dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square, which is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. Now this is the classical differential equation of the progressive wave. So when the particle is behaving as a wave, then the differential equation of that particular wave is, this is the case. You already have the information, right? Del square psi is nothing but dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. Now this is the value of del square. So we are having a physical quantity that is psi, where the psi is the wave function. So when you just join that wave function, now it will become del square psi by, which is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. Now this is the case, or we just say this is equation number 1. Right. So this is the equation number one, and you know that this is a second order differential equation. So the second order differential equation will have the solution. So that solution we are considering here. Now let us consider since the equation one, since your equation one, above equation one is the second order differential equation, is the second order differential equation, and this second order differential equation, will have a solution, right? You need to know this, right? In mathematics, wherever you find that there is a second order differential equation, definitely you need to consider the solution of that second order differential equation. So we are considering that the solution of equation 1 of equation 1. So there is not compulsory that whatever the solution I am considering, that will be the final solution. So you can consider the other, there are different methods of finding out the solution. So I'm just taking one of the solution of we are considering the solution of the equation 1. Maybe the solution of the equation 1 maybe psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. Let us consider this is a second order differential equation is having a solution psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. When you just see our heading, that is Schrodinger time independent equation itself, you can just think that we need to remove this t term, right? This factor should be removed from this equation, Schrodinger time independent equation. Whatever the equation we will get, that equation should be free from the t. So that is what we need to do in the derivation, right? So in general, see, in deriving this Schrodinger time independent equation, we just consider the particle which is having a mass m with a velocity v, and let psi be the wave function along the x comma y comma z direction. Then the classical differential equation is given as dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square is equal to 1 by v square into dou square psi by dou t square. Now this can also be written as del square is equal to, del square is an operator, del is an operator, right? As you know that in quantum mechanics, we use the operator, which are nothing but they are the measuring devices of the physical quantity. Here, the physical quantity that we are measuring is your wave function psi. So instead of writing dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square, right? With the unit vectors, right? I, j, k, right? They are the unit vectors. So del square is equal to dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. Can also be written as del square. So now this particular equation can be rewritten as del square psi is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. Now this is equation number 1. Now, this equation number 1, when you see this is the second order differential equation. The solution of this equation may be psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So, right. So, with this, I think that you have understood that what actually we are doing with this equation, right? Now, when you see this, when we see the equation psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus omega t. Now, we can just see what is actually psi naught is all about. So psi naught is nothing but it is the amplitude of the wave. See, psi naught is the minimum amplitude which the wave is possessing, right? Amplitude of the wave, right? Amplitude of the wave, right? At certain point, right? At certain point, right? At p of that point may be p of x comma y comma z. And as you know that we have considered the de Broglie hypothesis. Here we are considering the de Broglie hypothesis. Why? Because the same particle is behaving sometime as a particle and sometimes it is behaving as a wave. For instance, what we are considering here is that the particle is behaving as a wave. So by using the de Broglie hypothesis, right, what we do is that we de Broglie hypothesis says, right? What the de Broglie hypothesis says here. Now, the de Broglie hypothesis says that lambda is equal to h by mv. Now, this is the what we discussed in the last class also. So, de Broglie from de Broglie hypothesis, we can write that lambda value is nothing but h by. See, this is what de Broglie hypothesis. So lambda is equal to h by mv. Now, so psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So now we need to just take differentiation of this particular derivation. Psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. Differentiating psi, right, with respect to differentiating the psi with respect to t, right? So when once you differentiate it, the first order differentiation, dou psi by dou t, which will be equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. You already have the information, right? The differentiation of e to the power of x will be e to the power of x. Here we are differentiating with respect to t. So whatever the term which is adjacent to t will be remaining as it is. So I'm writing here minus I omega when you just differentiate it once. So again, on further differentiation, again differentiating the same above term, we are differentiating. So again on differentiation, right? Again differentiating the psi. Again the differentiation the psi value, psi with respect to, see, we are differentiating psi with respect to t. So again, on further differentiation, this will again become dou square psi by dou t square will be equal to same thing, right? Psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So I'm just differentiating this minus I omega. Again, the same term will be appearing here. So on further differentiation, so what will be the dou square psi by dou t square will be equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So this minus into minus is plus, and I into I is I square and omega square, right? So since you had the information, right, I square is nothing but minus 1, right? In the same manner, what we are doing here is that we can just see this, draw a line here. See, I square is equal to minus 1. Now your dou square psi by dou t square will be equal to, what is psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t? You had, see, this is equation number 2. So by using the equation number 2, see, by using equation 2, by using the equation 2, what I can write here? Psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t, I can write just psi. So here I square is minus 1. So what we'll write here? Minus omega square. So we got the value of dou square psi by dou t square as minus omega square psi. Right now, this we can also be rewritten as dou square psi by dou t square is equal to minus omega square psi. So we are just replacing this dou square psi by dou t square value in our first equation. So when we just see the equation number 1, so what are the equation number 1 is del square psi is equal to 1 by v square into dou square psi by dou t square. So you know this, right? I'm just substituting that value del square psi is equal to, instead of dou square psi by dou t square, what I can write here? Minus omega square, right? V square as it is, and psi I'm writing here, right? So now this is the value what we got from our basic solution. So see, we just started with this assumption, right? Lambda here, we just consider the lambda is equal to h by mv, that is de Broglie hypothesis. And the solution of the second order differential equation can be written as psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So when we differentiate it with psi with respect to t, so we got that value dou psi by dou t is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So since we are differentiating psi with respect to t, we can just write this the adjacent term, whatever the term is there. So we can just write here, so minus I omega. So again, we are differentiating the same term, right? Here, whatever the term is there, we are again differentiating the psi with respect to t. So second order differentiation now, dou square of psi by dou t square will become psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. Minus I omega is already there. So again, the differentiation of e to the power of x will be same. So whatever the term adjacent to this t, the same thing will be repeated here, right? This is the basic principle of differentiation, right? So here the basic mathematic concept if a student is having, so he can easily understand what I'm trying to tell here, right? Minus I omega into minus I omega. So now dou square psi by dou t square is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. So just minus into minus is plus, and I into I is I square. Omega into omega is omega square. So I square is nothing but, you already had the information, right? Minus 1. So dou square psi by dou t square is psi into minus omega square. Now dou square psi by dou t square is equal to minus omega square psi. Now instead of writing the dou square psi by dou t square, we can just write minus omega square psi. So the first equation we are replacing the term del square psi is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. So we just replace this value of dou square psi by dou t square as minus omega square psi. So del square psi is nothing but minus omega square by v square into psi. This is what we obtain the value of dou square psi by dou t square. Now what we are doing here is that we just further simplify this equation. So when you just simplify this equation, so we'll get the next right step. So I think that with this I can what I think is that you can just rewrite this. If you have any notes, please rewrite this. I will just give you 1 minute for rewriting this, such that you can when you just see the video, you can easily understand when you just go for some practice. Right, everybody? So can we move forward? So. Right. So what I'm doing now here, you can see what we got. Del square psi is equal to minus omega square v square psi. Now this is what we got the basic equation. Now we just see this. This can be also written as the omega is angular frequency. I think that you are having this idea, right? Since omega is nothing but 2 pi nu, right? And implies nu is the frequency. So instead of nu, what I can write here, mu is the frequency, so that I can just write that nu as right. Nu can be written as v by lambda. Can I write like this? V by lambda. So implies omega square. Omega is equal to 2 pi. Instead of mu, what I can write here? V by lambda. Clear, everybody? So when you just rewrite this, right? Omega by v can be written as 2 pi by lambda. Clear, everybody? Now, squaring on both sides, when you just square this, squaring on both sides. So what you'll get? Omega square by v square, which is equal to 4 pi square by lambda square. Can I write like this? So what is that basic term here? This is the basic term. What I got, omega square by v square is equal to 4 pi square by lambda square. So we just replace this value as del square psi. Del square psi is equal to minus 4 pi is minus 4 pi square by lambda square, right? So we got this value, right? This is what we got. So implies del square psi is it plus 4 pi square 4 pi, right, just a minute. See, right, this is what del square psi by 4 pi square by lambda square psi is equal to 0. So I've just replaced that value of minus 4 pi square by lambda square in this equation. So now, right, del square psi plus 4 pi square by lambda square into psi will be equal to 0, right, which is equal to 0. Now, since you are having the information that lambda is nothing but h by mv, right? So lambda square can also be written as, by de Broglie hypothesis, h square by m square v square. So implies what I can write here. So del square psi plus 4 pi square. You can see this del square psi. This is 4 pi square by lambda. What is that? Lambda square is h square. So h square by m square v square, right? This is equal to 0. Now, what will be the term next term? Del square psi plus 4 pi square m square v square by h square into psi, right? This is psi, right? Actually, here, right? Psi, which is equal to 0. Now, this is equation number 3. Let us consider this is equation number 3. What we got, right? Now, we know that what we know that the total energy of the particle, which is behaving as a wave, the total energy the total energy of the particle right, which is given as E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? You are, this is how you are aware of this particular concept that E total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. So E is equal to kinetic energy is what? Half mv square. We are having the information, right? Here the potential energy, what we consider, that is right, V. We consider the potential energy as V here. So E minus V, see, you can just see E minus V is equal to half mv square. Can I write like this? So again, repeating the same thing here. So del square psi is equal to omega minus omega square by v square into psi. Since omega is the angular frequency, omega can also be written as 2 pi nu. So nu can be, nu is the frequency. So nu is nothing but v by lambda. I can write v by lambda. So omega is equal to 2 pi v by lambda. So when omega and v, see, v will come to the left hand side. So now it will become omega by v, which is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Squaring on both sides, that is omega square by v square is nothing but 4 pi square by lambda square. So del square implies, right, del square psi, it can also be written as del square psi. So you can just see this del square psi is minus omega square by v square. So omega square by v square value is given here, 4 pi square by lambda square. So I've just substituted that value. Del square psi is equal to minus 4 pi square psi by lambda square. So we just substituted that. So del square psi plus 4 pi square by lambda square psi is equal to 0. So now this is what I got. So we already had the information that lambda is equal to h by mv. That is de Broglie. By using de Broglie hypothesis, lambda is equal to h by mv. So instead of lambda, what I can write? H by mv. So lambda square is equal to h square by m square v square implies del square psi plus 4 pi square psi h square by m square v square is equal to 0. And this m square v square, right? So this will come to the numerator. So now it will become del square psi plus 4 pi square m square v square by h square into psi, which is equal to 0. Now we know that the total energy of the particle is given as E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. So potential energy we have taken it as V. So E is equal to half mv square plus V. And when we go to the left hand side, that will become E minus V is equal to half mv square. So now I think that until this, you will not have any problem, right? So now we will move forward, right? Now we had that E minus V is equal to half mv square, right? We got this value. So what I'm doing here is that, see what I'm doing here, multiplying m on both sides, multiplying m on both sides, right? So what will get m into E minus V is equal to, right, m square V square by 2. Can I write like this? Right. Now what it will become? Implies 2m into E minus V, which is equal to m square V square. Now I got the value of m square V square, right? So what is our basic equation? In the previous case, we just discussed that del square psi plus 4 pi square, right? So 4 pi square m square V square, right? M square V square by h square, which is equal to 0. Now this is our previous equation, and we consider that equation is equation number 3. So now we just substitute that m square V square here. M square V square is there. So we are just substituting that value del square psi plus, now this is psi, right? Clearly. So this is actually psi. Now for del square psi 4 pi square. So instead of m square V square, what I can write here? 2m into E minus, right, E minus V, right, into psi by h square, which is equal to 0. So this can also be rewritten as del square psi plus 8 pi square, right, m by h square into E minus V into psi, right? So this is actually, what is that equation we got? E minus V is equal to 0. Now, this is this equation. We just say that this equation is the basic equation of Schrodinger. This is Schrodinger basic equation, right? So this can also be rewritten as, right? This equation can also be written as, we can just write that equation, basic equation, right? So 8 pi square m by h square e minus v into psi is equal to 0. This equation can also be rewritten as, if let us consider if h bar is nothing but h by 2 pi. So we just discussed in the previous class that h bar is h by 2 pi. So h bar square will be equal to h square. We are just simplifying this, right? You can either you can write this equation. If you can just write this equation 4 will be a Schrodinger. This equation 4 will be Schrodinger time independent equation. Until this, if you can write in the examination, it is enough. So this is further simplification. If someone is interested, you can just write this also. Why? Because we'll use this simplified version in equation in our next application of Schrodinger time independent equation. So what is that equation now? Will become 2m by h bar square, right? Instead of h square, what I'm writing here, e minus v into psi will be equal to 0. Now this is also the equation of the, what you can say, this equation, we can just say that this is actually the Schrodinger time independent equation. These two equations are said to be Schrodinger time independent equation, right? So now we just started our talk of today's class with starting equation of Schrodinger time independent equation. We just considered the particle, and let us consider the particle is having mass m, and the particle which is having mass m is moving with the velocity v, and what we can say that by using the physical quantity, that is the wave function, along x comma y, so let psi be the wave function along x comma y comma z direction. So the classical differential equation of the given wave, which we are talking about, the particle is behaving as a wave. So that particular particle is as it is behaving as a wave, then definitely when we just correlate that equation, the moving particle with the differentially mathematically, so that that mathematical relation is given by dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou y dou z square, right, is equal to 1 by v square into dou square psi by dou t square. Now this is what we thought, this is a basic classical differential equation, what we got, right? So now we will just move forward that instead of using this dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square, we have just written del square psi is equal to 1 by v square dou square psi by dou t square. And since it is a second order differential equation, it will have definitely the solution. That solution we just consider that psi is equal to psi naught e to the power of minus I omega t. And that particular equation we have done some solution, right, calculation of that, and by means of that we just obtain the Schrodinger time independent equation. That Schrodinger time independent equation is given by del square psi by del square psi plus 2m by h bar square in minus v into psi is equal to 0. Now this is the way that we have calculated the Schrodinger time independent equation. In the next class, we'll just discuss about the Schrodinger time independent equation application. Okay, we have done Schrodinger time dependent equation and Schrodinger time independent equation, where actually we can use this Schrodinger equation for practical purpose. That actually we'll see in the next class. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience.